people who are from China, we call them 反共义士. That means they are the anti-communist heroes, comrades like this. In our mind, we don't have the idea about border. We don't have this, especially the boundary. We don't have this. We only have the idea about our territory. So everybody cross the borderline into our country. We call them illegal migrants or illegal entrants, unless they come here with the legal way. I remember when I was going to Mason, that is a commercial town in the Thai Burma border, and I talked to my father. I don't know what will happen at the border areas, because in my mind, the border areas, especially we talk about the northern Thailand. Another film came into my mind, that is 异域. 异域, that is a story about the KMT, about the 93 battalions in northern Thailand and also in Myanmar. But I don't know what will happen at the border area, so I talked to my father. If I can come back, you are lucky, you have a child one more time. And if I cannot come back, if I face any problem, if I face any safety problem over there, well, that is my fate, and also your fate. So that is the situation. That is the situation in our minds. And in the areas, we also can see how the state to manage or to control the border areas, and how the local people react the state border management. Yet, the film doesn't tell us very clearly how the state control and how the local people react the border management. But one thing very interesting is we can see the guy drive motorbike and pick up Ahong and from Myanmar to Thailand, right? The motorcycle just passed by one checkpoint. Just passed one checkpoint. If the guy doesn't have any border pass, or the guy doesn't pay anything or doesn't do anything, how can he pass the border checkpoint? That is not possible, because when I went to the Meso, from Bangkok to Meso, I have to pass 2 checkpoints. And every checkpoint, the police will come and check my passport. You cannot just tell them, oh, I don't have any passport, I don't need to use passport. If you don't have any legal document, they will not allow you to pass the checkpoint. So there must be some special, action and reaction on the table. I mean, probably the guy who go to Myanmar to pick Ahong do something to the local authority, especially the military. It is very reasonable because from other literatures regarding the border issues in SE countries, that kind of activity actually happen every day. Without this kind of activity, those border economic activities will not exist and will not possible to exist. That is what I observe. But I have one question to Dr. Malee. According to your experience, according to your research, in the border areas, those people who live in the border areas, what is their identity of themselves? I mean, they live in Thailand, and maybe they were born in Thailand, but their livelihood are in Myanmar, and they have relatives in Myanmar, and they go to Myanmar to work. And also those people who are born in Myanmar, but they got education in Thailand. Regardless they have ID or not, legal document or not, what is their real identity? Do they identify themselves as the country wherein they were born, or they identify themselves as the, a sort of national in another country where they have their livelihood over there?
It's very interesting question, because know that, as you mentioned, the territory and the border. Where is the borderline? How do I know where is the borderline? If we are not the people who living in the border area, we don't know where is the borderline. Because just land to land, that's no borderline. And you mentioned about the checkpoint and they cross easily. How do those people identify themselves? Whether they have their own identity? Yes, they have their own identities. Whether they identify themselves as Roma, Myanmar? No. They identify themselves as Thai? No. Depending on what ethnicity they belong to. Like if they are Karen. You know that once I went to the refugee camp in Mela, Mela, because you've been there, the Mela one. And during that time, that is Aung San Suu Kyi not became the power yet. And all the houses in the camp, they have the Aung San Suu Kyi photo, and they're talking about the current state. Where is the current state? Is it on the map in this world? Where is it? But they still identify themselves. They are from the current state. Even the refugee camp in the Kanchanaburi, in Bandonyang camp, that's in Kanchanaburi. When we went there, we were looking around, and we went there with the military truck, and there is also the military guns, that everywhere, all the doors and the front and the back, and we went there and we're looking around. I myself didn't recognize where is the border, and then the driver point one, that is, this one is the legal checkpoint, but the rest there is no legal checkpoint. They just walk across. There is not just only the legal channel, the legal checkpoint, but also the illegal checkpoint that they walk. If you're looking at on the first scene of the film, you see that what Afu and Ahom, what did they do? They try to find something, and then they go to Thailand, and then they just came across that one. I think that way, that is how easy to cross the border. The film reflects us in that way as well, not just on the checkpoint. The checkpoint also that easy if you pay. It's very easy across the border if you pay for that one. That is, the identity is depend on what ethnicity they belong to. Like in Myanmar, if you know the refugee camp, that one, and also the Mon. The Mon is also the ethnicity from Myanmar, and they came to Thailand. Mon has a very important thing for their identity is they have the temple with the Mon symbol. That they have like I'm not sure that is, if you know that in Kanchanaburi there is the monk named Luang Uttama. He's very famous. He is Mon, and that area that is the area for the Mon who migrated from Myanmar. They are not Thai. They are not Myanmar. But they identify themselves as Mon. And the Myanmar government, in terms of the state, Mon is quite easy to control when compared to current, because different ethnicity that they have different idea or different characteristics. If you remember in Mela, the current state, and I think that I've been there almost 20 years, and when we walked in the camp, 10 ladies came, 7 of them got pregnant, and then holding the children. And I had a question in my mind Myanmar, and I asked the interpreter why there are many pregnant, because the food is quite limited, right? And everything is limited, but why they want to have more children? And the interpreter told me that because they want to fight with the Myanmar government. They need the people, they need the arm to fight with the government in Myanmar. And I said, and how about you think that the quality of the population that you're going to grow up in the camp? And he said that that's the leader here think about that. We have to fight in terms of the political, I mean that like waiting for Aung San Suu Kyi to fight for us and other things to get back and get our state back as well. And this one I answer you for the identity. Any question? Like for the border, I mean that for because I will talk on Friday because there is a long border from Thailand, more than 900 kilometers from the Thailand-Myanmar border, from the north. Yeah, and also from the north to the south. And we have the 9 refugee camps along the border. There's from in Chiang Mai, MaleeSunpuwan, Kanchanaburi, Ratchaburi. This is the official camp. We didn't count that is also the unofficial one. And actually that no one see that one, maybe in the jungle. And for this one, if you remember that from the film, they're talking about refugee card. The one person who lost his or her wallet with the refugee card, and if the one who returned will get the reward for 1,000 baht. How the refugee card play important role in this situation. I mean that in the real life. Actually, the people in the camp, they will get the refugee card from the UNHCR. And the Thai government didn't ratify the refugee convention. And if you go to Thailand and you ask from the government side about the refugee, no one knows. Why I say that? Because there is no refugee category in Thailand. They just put them as the displaced person. And this one is very interesting because they want to ratify the refugee convention. And they try to avoid to do that. They just put them in the camp and call them as the displaced person.
Seems like they are speaking different languages, right?
Yes, and because they speak like depending on the ethnicity, and then they also that we have experience with the different ethnicity because Burman is the majority in Myanmar, and they are quite powerful, and they are the elite of Myanmar. We have to say that, right? The Burman. And I remember that once we asked our Myanmar student to help us to collect data with the Myanmar migrant worker in Thailand. What happened to us? You know that because the migrant workers are carried and mourn, and our interviewer, our student, they are Burman, and they talk to each other. And we took our student to pay respect to the monk, and the monk is also mourn, and he just turned his face to another way. That is. After that, we thinking about that. If we ask the student to work with us for this is a very sensitive issue. How how can we collect? I'm not sure about the Philippines or the Indonesia or Vietnamese whether they have like the conflict between the ethnicity or not. That is, we need to concern about this one as well.
So I have a question. So because recently I'm reading on these things about the autonomous region history of many Southeast Asian countries before the formation of modern nation states. So I wonder, so because after the formation of the modern nation states, the history of each country begins to be like this. So all these regional autonomous entities, history is become marginalized as from this so-called central government. So what's what you call it, the elite group. So how about, so I wonder the formation of, to what extent the formation of the modern nation states, such as from Siam, so when Siam became the nation states of Thailand or like in Burma, so the Burmese became the central nation states for all their sphere of influence. How this kind of formation of nation states hinder or not, perhaps not hinder, but make the situation of these border issues and especially the so-called ethnic minorities in the borderland, become the situations become much more complicated or obscure or force them need to cross the borders much more frequently. I wonder to what extent this is also influencing this